Welcome into Full Time. I am Max. Plenty of great soccer stuff to get into, including one topic that I have been harking on for some time, but I'm drawing the line in the sand. This is the moment. We'll get to that here shortly. But I would be remiss if I didn't start this week, and it's not a soccer story by any means, in some ways because of the connections. But I'm in Los Angeles, and I'm recording this a couple hours after the news came down that Kobe Bryant had died in a helicopter crash with his daughter. So it is very visceral, and you feel it. And I was a Kobe Bryant fan. I wasn't a Laker fan. And the suddenness of someone who felt so omnipotent dying like this makes all of the mortal coils go to work for all of us. It's unbelievable this would happen. You look through the history of sports and sportsmen and sportswomen, these moments, and I really had a difficult time finding one that could compare to someone as big as he was to have such an untimely death. And I know people say, let's celebrate Kobe Bryant. It is impossible to celebrate anything right now. This city, you can feel it. It is thick. I'm sure it's being echoed in other places as well. But the feeling I got from it, and this will something I will never shake, is, look, as parents, and his daughter also perished in the helicopter crash, Gianna. As a parent, you'll do anything for your kid. You'll take a bullet. You'll do anything to protect them. I can only imagine as a parent knowing this helicopter is going down and you have no control over it. There's nothing you can do. And your child is there. And that's something that I think everyone's going to certainly have to deal with, because nobody should have to go through that. Nobody. Unfortunately, people do. Kobe Bryant lived an incredible life, but all the work he put in, all the work he did on the basketball court to make his brand, to make the money he did, to create a family, all of that was for now, for him to enjoy this, and he won't be able to. It is so tragic on so many levels. There is no time to celebrate. This is going to be a bruise that's going to be there for everyone in a long time, regardless how much you liked or cared about basketball or Kobe Bryant. But this, I cannot think of a comparison of someone so high going this direction. And, you want to live till you're 90 years old, 100 years old, and who knows what incredible life you could have lived, and it's all gone. It's all gone. All right, I don't want to dampen this too much, but it is what it is. We'll get to the soccer. I promise no FA Cup. We don't talk about FA Cup. I don't care about FA Cup. I don't want to hear about Tranmere or Shrewsbury. It doesn't matter. The English League wants to make you feel like it matters, but it doesn't. It is a tournament that was held in so much more esteem years ago, and it's getting less and less and less, I think. So, cup competitions, we don't talk about Coppa Italia or Copa del Rey or the U.S. Open Cup. So, nah, not on this show, mate. Not on this show. We will talk about some league action in Spain. Valencia 2, Barcelona zip. A pretty convincing performance by Valencia to win that. And the rot seems to be setting in for Barcelona. We talked last week about the horrific means of parting ways with Ernesto Valverde, how it was an absolute hatchet job by Barcelona. And I look at everything across this club, and every year they get further and further away from the prize, even though they were this close last year. But it's moving away, and that's, of course, Europe. They are 3 points behind Real Madrid, but it's winning the Spanish league is definitely within their possibilities. But this is a very flawed club, which brings me to say, and I've said this before, and I've never meant it more, is the next few months should be the last few months that Lionel Messi plays with a Barcelona shirt. Does anyone really think this is moving in the right direction? And I'm not blaming Lionel Messi for anything, but when Valencia won that game, I was on Twitter and I saw the number one trending subject, Valverde. And I was like, And I started clicking on the posts, and it was what I've been saying. And I said, Valverde's sure getting a lot of the blame, and now he's gone. And they had a rough week. They struggled with Ibiza in the Copa del Rey. That was an alarm bell. And then this one, more alarm bells, looked flat. And people are it's not Valverde's fault. Quique Setién, not the sexiest hire, comes in. But the reason I bring this up is because across the board, you see Barcelona handling their business and doing it very poorly. From the front office, who made a mess of the Xavi situation. We documented that last week, trying to get him hired. Xavi was the bigger man and said, I don't want to do that to Valverde, so they had to go to plan B. All right, that's one strike. The strikes that will be flying in here are fast and furious. The style they want to go back to, it doesn't really work. This tiki-taka, it's from another era, and there were different players. It's they're clanging onto something. They're grasping onto something, but they don't know what. So now that Valverde's out, the blame goes to everyone else. Luis Suarez is out, but I don't want to hear about injuries because everyone deals with injuries. And the starting 11 they fielded for Valencia, they had a lot of kids on the bench, I would say, so their depth was decimated. But the starting 11 was you'd take it: Frankie De Jong and Messi and Griezmann and the defenders and Ter Stegen. So, okay, who's going to blame it? It's going to be different players. Lionel Messi has to shoulder this blame, and this is why he has to, because everything is built around him. If it's not working, it's systematic, and you would have to find a different way. Liverpool, they are a machine. Everything, the parts, the sum of the parts works beautifully. Barcelona is Lionel Messi and how he dictates the play. He has to be involved. Some guys have to work a little harder around him to get possession. It's not working anymore. I don't think it can work. And I think Barcelona have to concede, and I think Messi has to concede as well. So they have tried to get him a good running mate, and they have failed miserably with this. $100 million for Philippe Coutinho. They were able to recoup, I think, that with Bayern Munich, but he's no longer with the club. That didn't work out. We didn't think it wasn't going to work out, but it didn't, and it was awful. It lasted very short. Ousmane Dembele, still with the club, $140 million, has not found a comfort level whatsoever. Okay, that's another of these massive signings. Antoine Griezmann to a lesser degree, but nowhere near the $140 million as well that they paid for him. So what's going on? Is that their fault? I think it's a combination of a lot of things. I think La Masia, the academy, good, not great like it used to be. Ansu Fati is the diamond out of that group, but some other ones, okay, maybe there's other academies doing a better job. It's time for Barcelona. It's time to reboot. Real Madrid hit the reboot with Cristiano Ronaldo, who continues to reinvent himself. And now they have the young pieces in place, and you get the feeling that Real Madrid maybe a year ago with a new group, once they maybe next season bring in a couple new players, Eden Hazard starts to gel in a little bit more, they'll be ready for that next stage, whereas Barcelona are still stuck here. They're successful enough, but they will never be super successful. They are not winning the Champions League. They are not. I don't care who they bring in. And if it's Neymar, it's not Neymar. No one's going to come in this season. So it's not working from that as well. Lionel Messi is also 32 years of age. And, Chicharito got this grief for calling retirement at 31. And he said he's beginning his retirement. So Lionel Messi is not beginning his retirement, but it's time. It's time to test yourself. Take a little of the pressure off your shoulders. Spread those wings, because it's been a very difficult run for him. Tottenham Hotspur. A club like Tottenham Hotspur, a club like Inter Milan. Why not? It's time, folks. I've been saying it for 4 years, and every time I get vindicated, it's time. All right, we'll go to Italy. Last week I said Juventus were going to run away with it, and they lost to Napoli. I don't think there's any shame in that. That's a tough place to play. It's a very good team. No one could take advantage of it. Roma, Lazio tied. Inter, Cagliari tied. So Lazio and Inter remain off of the pace for now, although Juventus have a 3-point lead over Inter, 5 over Lazio. Juventus, I think, are still the class, and they're just going to get better. So I don't want to talk about any of that, as compelling as it might be. I want to talk about my new favorite team, Atalanta de Bergamo. They're in the Champions League Final 16, and on the weekend, they went to Torino and beat them 7-zip. Josip Ilicic, the Slovene, hat trick. Unbelievable. They were having so much fun, and it's so much fun to watch this team having that much fun. It's thrilling. And I thought about the Champions League, and we don't have an Ajax or a team from outside the big leagues that could have this Cinderella run, which brings so much to the tournament. And then I saw this team, and remember they get Valencia. They may be the Cinderella team. I'd also like to add that I'm on belief that every manager in Italy looks like someone famous. And this one in particular. Gianpiero Gasparini, the next Jurgen Klopp, perhaps, with the way he coaches, looks like Sam Elliott without a mustache. How's that sarsaparilla? The dude abides. I mean, it's Sam. Put a little mustache. You got Sam Elliott. The Torino coach, Walter Massari. That's Dustin Hoffman. Am I right? I should have paid attention more to the game. But look at it. Play this game at home. Watch every Serie A and couple them with a celebrity. There's a guy, I forgot who he coaches, but he looks like John Malkovich. So it's all over the place. So Italy providing a lot of fruit. Spain providing a lot of questions. A lot happening everywhere. And I'm very excited to go on this journey with you. Thank you for hearing me out. I know the Kobe information is something that you're probably hearing about ad nauseum, but it helps me to get off because it's been unimaginable. And talking about it helps. Please subscribe to YouTube page, Max Predos, and Full Time. I promise I'll be a little better next week. Thank you for your support.